Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave. This completely changes the situation. The playoff picture for the team in question has turned unexpectedly after their recent loss, and the scene in the Western Conference is so chaotic that I felt the need to make this video to clarify all the details. So I will provide a detailed analysis of the statistics and the chances of where the team might end up in the playoff standings, the important NBA games that are most relevant this week, and exactly who we should be rooting for. Let's get straight to the point. Currently the team finds itself in the middle of this tight race. There is fierce competition going on with a tie involving 4 teams, all with 32 losses. Looking at the standings, the team currently occupies 6th place, managing to avoid the play-in round due to the tiebreaker they hold over another team. However, the situation can fluctuate at any moment between positions 3 and 8. There is even a remote possibility of reaching 3rd place. Although this might seem absurd, there is still a chance. I will break down all the probabilities shortly, but before that, share your thoughts on where you think the team will finish. Will they maintain this 6th place? Can they rise or end up in the play-in? All of this is quite intriguing, and we will explore it in depth. So let's take a look at the Western Conference standings. The team is positioned interestingly with 46 wins and 32 losses. Just like other teams that are competing, one team is a game and a half behind, having played one more game than the others at this point. They all have 3 games left in their schedule. Here we are with the race tightening up, as most teams have 46 wins and 32 losses, including others who are also in the fight. One team is half a game behind due to playing one more game than the others. Right now they only have 3 games left in the season, while the others have 4. Let's look at the teams competing for positions and analyze their schedules to see if they have a chance of securing a spot. Starting with the team in 3rd place, there is still a possibility, no matter how unlikely it seems, that they could reach this spot. When analyzing the schedule, it's important to mention that they just beat an opponent, but they will face them again tomorrow night, which promises to be a tough matchup and could result in a loss. Additionally, there's a big game against another team in a back-to-back, and a key player is returning, making this matchup even more significant. We cannot underestimate this opponent, even though one player is dealing with an injury that will keep them out for the remainder of the season. The team will still face another challenging opponent. There's a chance that this team might not have much left to play for right now, as they're in a good position to secure a spot, which might lead them to rest some of their starters. This could be unfavorable, as we want them to lose as much as possible, especially for teams just below them in the standings still fighting for a spot. Additionally, it would be great if another team could make an impact and hand the team above them another loss, which would be a big accomplishment. And what about the team just above them, half a game ahead in 4th place? This position is quite interesting because it guarantees the benefit of home court advantage. Although the team has recently beaten this opponent, they still enjoy the Hall of Fame advantage. Their schedule isn't too complicated, as they face a team that is fighting for a spot in the playoffs and the play-in tournament, as well as another team that will also be pushing hard, as they find themselves in a tough position in standings. The current advantage is 1.5 games, and the remaining games don't seem too difficult. Their next opponent will be the Kings, who are out of the playoff race and fighting for a position. Then they will face the Grizzlies, who, despite being tough opponents, will also be giving their all, as they are in a similar situation to the Warriors with no margin for error. After that, they will finish the season against the Rockets, who will probably be resting their key players. This will be the last matchup of the season for both teams, so if the Rockets have nothing left to play for by then, it's likely that they'll rest many of their players for the playoffs. So it's possible that the Nuggets could finish this stretch with 3 wins. And what about the Clippers? They don't have the tiebreaker advantage over this team, which makes this an intriguing week to follow their actions. They have a relatively easy game against the Spurs, and then they face the Rockets. The game against the Rockets is on Wednesday, and it's expected that many starters will be on the floor after a day of rest. They will play in Sacramento, and then have a crucial matchup against the Warriors on Sunday. This game will be essential mainly because the Clippers have the tiebreaker over the Warriors, so the Warriors desperately need the win. And what about the Timberwolves? It's not wise to write them off, as they have a favorable schedule. Although they play on the road against the Bucks, they've already won against them a few times. After that they will face the Grizzlies, who will be fighting hard. Then they'll play against the Nets, who are struggling, and finally they will face the Jazz, one of the least competitive teams in the league. It's reasonable to expect the Wolves to finish this stretch with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses, or even 3 wins and 1 loss. This stretch seems relatively easy for them. But what about the Grizzlies? They have a game against the Hornets, which should result in an easy win. Of course, the Wolves could end up with 2 wins and 2 losses, or even 3 wins. It really is a beneficial stretch for them. And the Grizzlies, they have been standing out frequently. They have a game against the Hornets that should be a guaranteed win. After that they will play at home against the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. The Mavericks still have a tough schedule, but only 2 of these matchups are on the road. It will be interesting to see how they perform. Now about the Warriors, these are their last 4 games. They need to win all of them to maximize their chances of avoiding the play-in tournament and possibly securing a 5th place spot, or even 4th, or maybe even a remote chance of reaching 3rd place. I'll explain how they could reach 3rd place. The probability is low, but there is a chance. In the game against the Suns, it looks like Kevin Durant will be available. Everyone knows the rivalry, but this is a Suns team that isn't at its best. This should result in a win. After that they'll return home to face the Spurs. We saw what happened in the last game against the Spurs last week. It was an easy win. After that they will face the Blazers, who shouldn't be underestimated, as they gave the Warriors a tough time weeks ago. However, again, they're not a good team, and in the game against the Clippers, this is a crucial game. It's easy to assume that the Warriors will finish this stretch with 3 wins and 1 loss, but for all the reasons we all want for wins, it will be interesting to see how these scenarios unfold. There's a possibility of securing 3rd place, but upon closer examination, if one position is lost and a game isn't won, the chances drop significantly. The most likely outcome seems to be a situation that leads to 5th place, which wouldn't be catastrophic at all. Staying in 5th, 6th, or even 4th place would put the team in a favorable position, with the 4th spot being an ideal scenario to secure home court advantage. A guide has been created highlighting some key matchups coming up in the next few days that deserve attention. This serves as a guide on who to support and who to root against in tomorrow's game. There are expectations for the Oklahoma City team to beat the Lakers, and there's a desire for the Rockets to defeat the Clippers, while the Kings need to beat the Nuggets. Additionally, it's crucial for the Bucks and the Grizzlies to secure wins over the Timberwolves. There are also hopes that the Mavericks will win against the Grizzlies, and of course the Warriors need to get a positive result. This week is shaping up to be really intense. Anyone who follows the league knows that it's rare to see the Western Conference this balanced from 3rd to 8th place. Everything is possible at the moment, making every game extremely relevant. It's crucial to stay on top of all the developments unfolding. Suggestions on how the Western Conference playoff bracket might shape up are welcome, as there is a belief that if the team can avoid the play-in tournament, there's a real chance of charting a path to the Western Conference Finals and possibly beyond to the finals and even a championship. The current analysis of some statistics and probabilities in this context presents an interesting argument for how the team could reach the finals, especially if they secure the 4th or 5th position and face Denver in the first round, followed by a matchup with Oklahoma City in the second round. The team's experience offers a significant advantage over Oklahoma City, who is not viewed as an insurmountable challenge on this journey. Confidence remains that the team can overcome any of these opponents in a best-of-7 series, as they possess the experience, depth, and stars, and the statistics are starting to reflect this as well. One aspect that stands out is the age of Oklahoma City's roster, and how this might not necessarily indicate their chances of winning a championship. They would have the youngest core and the overall youngest roster to ever win an NBA title, which raises questions about their lack of experience. Although this might seem a bit premature in the narrative, it's important to highlight these points as the playoffs begin to unfold. Without a doubt, it's been a turbulent week, and hope remains for a perfect finish that ends the season.